Vishnupada Parivamsakacharya Ashtotara Shata Srimad Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki. All glories to the humble devotees. All glories to the humble devotees. All glories to the humble devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting from Canto 3, Chapter 23, Devahuti's Lamentation, and the text number is 6th. So please repeat with me. Kardama uvacha tusto hamajya tavamana vimanadaya Sushrusaya paramaya paraya cha bhaktya Yo dehināmayam atīva suhrutsadeho Na vekshita samuchita kshapitam madarte Kardama uvacha Tusto hamajya tava manavimanadaya Sushrusaya paramaya paraya cha bhaktya Yo dehināmayam atīva suhrutsadeho Na vekshita samuchita kshapitim madarte Kardama uvacha Tusto hamajya tava manavimanadaya Sushrusaya paramaya paraya cha bhaktya Yo dehināmayam atīva suhrutsadeho Na vekshita samuchita kshapitum madarte Prabhuji. Yo dehināmayam atīva suhrutsadeho Na vekshita samuchita kshapitum madarte Tusto hamajya manavimanadaya Sushrusaya paramaya paraya cha bhaktya Yo dehināmayam atīva suhrutsadeho Na vekshita samuchita kshapitum madarte Mataji, you want to try? Kardama uvacha Tusto hamajya tava manavimanadaya Sushrusaya paramaya paraya cha bhaktya Yo dehināmayam atīva suhrutsadeha Na vekshita samuchita kshapitum madarte. So word to word meaning. Kardama uvacha. The great sage Kardama said. Tusta pleased. Aham, I am. Adhaya, today. Tava, with you. Manavi, O daughter of Manu. Manadaya, who are respectful. Sushrushaya, by the service. Paramaya, most excellent. Paraya, highest. Cha, and. Bhaktya, by devotion. Ya, that which. Dehinam, to the embodied. I am, this. Ativa, extremely. Suhrut, dear. Sa, that. Deha, body. Na, not. Avekshita, taken care of. Samuchita, properly. Kshapitum, to expend. Mat artha, on my account. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Please repeat with me. Kardama Muni said, O respectful daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, today I am very much pleased with you for your great devotion and most excellent loving service. Since the body is so dear to embodied beings, I am astonished that you have neglected your own body to use it on my behalf. Purport. It is indicated here that one's body is very dear, yet Devahuti was faithful to her husband, that not only did she serve him with great devotion, service, and respect, but she did not even care for her own health. That is called selfless service. It appears that Devahuti had no sense pleasure, even with her husband, otherwise she would not have deteriorated in health, acting to facilitate Kardama Muni's engagement in spiritual elevation. She continually assisted him, not caring for bodily comfort. It is the duty of faithful and chaste wife to help her husband in every respect, especially when the husband is engaged in Krishna consciousness. In this case, the husband also amply rewarded the wife. This is not to be expected by woman who is the wife of an ordinary person. Okay. Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadate Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So once again, welcome to morning Bhagavatam class. So today we are reading from the verse, text 6 of chapter 23, canto 3. So if you see, the Bhagavatam always glorifies Krishna and his devotees. we can see from last few chapters and few verses, it started glorifying Kardama Muni. He's one of the devotees of the Lord. And later, it started glorifying the previous verses. We started saying the glorifying Swayambhuva Manu. So now, slowly coming to the next devotee, Devahuti. Now in the last few verses and subsequent verses, we will be seeing the qualities of Devahuti and how is her devotional qualities we would see. So if you see the verse, let's read the verse, few words from this verse. So Manavi, the Manavi is the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. So Kardama is saying, Tushta Aham. So I am very much pleased. Tava, with you. So, O Manavi, I am very much pleased with you. The reason? Sustresaya Paramaya. So she did the very great service, most excellent service. Not only that, Parayacha Bhaktya. She did with a great devotion. That is one part. But how she did these services? Like if in third and fourth line, if you see, Shusruta sa Deha. So Deha is very dear to everyone. It's generally. But what she did? Na avekshita. So she did not care her body. And without caring her body, she did all the services to Kardama Muni. So that is what this verse is specifying. So she ignored her bodily comforts and everything, and she performed all the services to Kardama Muni to support his devotional service. So if we see in the previous chapter, 22nd chapter, 16th verse, when they are glorifying the Devahuti, they described about the beauty of the Devahuti. It was mentioned that her bodily luster was dominating her ornaments. That's how she was very beautiful. But now, in the after marriage, when she was supporting Kardama Muni, she completely ignored her bodily comforts and her body got deteriorated. That is how the Kardama Muni observed, and he started speaking to Devahuti in this verse that she is not ignoring her bodily comforts. Even though she is married, she is there with her husband, but she is not having any material enjoyment. Her only intention was to please Kardama Muni. And in return, in subsequent verses, we saw Kardama Muni rewarded both materially and spiritually. So this is how the Prabhupada was mentioning in purport, right? So whenever we need to serve the great elevated sannyasi or the devotee or spiritual master with this mood, with this intention, that is the key message from this verse. Not only that, so we have to serve like faithfully, with great devotion, great respect, and with love. These are the 4 qualities we should imbibe in us to perform service to any of the Vaishnavas or sannyasis. So, devotion, great respect, faithful, and the loving service. These are the qualities with which we have to inculcate and serve the senior devotees and Vaishnavas. When we do this, we don't expect any reward, but ultimately we will get the benefit from the Supreme Lord. Though we are not expecting, but the way Devahuti got received the benediction and the benefits, similarly, anyone can get the similar benefits. So, in this purport, we say Devahuti, she did the service. This kind of service is called selfless service. Opposite is selfish. Selfish means you are looking for your own benefit. But this is a selfless service. The reason is she ignored her all bodily comforts. She didn't care how her body is changing. But only she focused on the devotion. This is a selfless service. That's what Prabhupada mentioned. If you see from scriptures, we have many such devotees we can see who did a similar kind of service. We'll just briefly discuss few of them. Like if you see the Ramayana, Lakshman was there. See, when Kaikeyi asked only Ram to go forest, right? But Lakshman, the love towards his elder brother, respect towards his elder brother, right? So he also accompanied Lord Rama in the forest. He doesn't need to go. He can happily stay in the kingdom and do. But he also did that selfless service. He also taken and he accompanies Lord Rama and Sita to serve them in the forest. Similarly, we can see Prahalad Maharaj. So the Prahalad Maharaj also great devotee. He was a great devotee of Vishnu. Even though his father was not allowing to perform any devotion, but Prahalada continued. Even the father gave so many troubles, but he never deviated from his devotion. He was fixed in his devotion. He continued his devotion. Even though whatever problems he encountered, he ignored, he tolerated, but he continued in the devotion, the Vishnu service. So this is another, this is also one example we can see. Ignoring his bodily comforts and pleasure, he was continuing the devotion. And there is one more story from Rantidev, from Srimad Bhagavatam, where he was doing fasting for 48 hours, Nirjala, 48 days, sorry, not hours, 48 days. And it is Nirjala, he was not even taking water. And on the day of breaking the fasting, he was about to have a prasadam. Then one Brahmana came. So then he gave off some of the portion of the prasadam to the Brahmana. And then next he was about to take the remaining food, prasadam. Then one more person came. And again he gave the whatever leftover prasadam is there, he gave it to the other guest. And a few remnants were there, and he was about to take those remnants. Then one Shudra came. And again he offered that prasadam to the Shudra. And finally he left with only water. So with that water he wanted to fulfill his thirst. Then finally one more guest came and he was asking. Then finally he gave the water to that guest as well. So he doesn't have anything. So this is the Leela, this was the Leela conducted, organized by the Lord to showcase the qualities of a devotee, how tolerant they are, how to glorify the devotee, these things were there. But the Rantidev's intention was his aim is fixed. Whoever comes, he will do. He will give whatever he has. He doesn't care whether his needs are fulfilled or not, but his aim is to always give charity, to donate to the other people who are in need. So even Bali Maharaj also we see, like Lord Vamandev, Supreme Lord appeared in the form of Lord Vaman and he asked 3 steps of space. But with the 2 steps, the Vamandev occupied everything and there is no place to keep the 3rd step. Then Bali Maharaj, when Shukracharya, his spiritual master, was telling, though this is Vishnu is coming and cheating you, you don't give, you can ignore, you can take back your word. But Bali Maharaj did not agree. His spiritual master, he opposed his spiritual master message, but he went ahead and he surrendered himself to Supreme Lord. So these are all various characters, great personalities we see where they did the selfless service. There are many devotees in the Bhagavatam, we can see from our scriptures, but these are some of the examples we can recollect in this context, in this verse context, to see how they did the selfless service. Now, in this, we need to. So, if we are in the conditioned in material world, and if we have to, when we hear these pastimes, when we hear these stories from the devotees, we think that okay, we also we'll try to imitate these great personalities. But we are in condition, we are not there, reached that level. We should not imitate, but rather we should follow the footsteps of these great devotees. What is the difference between the Anukaran and Anusaran? That is what in Sanskrit, but following the footsteps or imitating. We can see some examples. In many books, in many of the Srila Prabhupada stories, we hear that Srila Prabhupada used to sleep only 2 hours in the night, 2 or 3 hours maximum. Rest of the time, he used to spend time in writing the commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures. Right? So if we hear these stories, suddenly we get very much motivated, enthusiastic. Okay, let me start doing this. Right? Then what will happen? First day you may do, second day you will try, third day onwards, you will have problems. You will not be, your body will deteriorate, you will not be able to continue. This is called anukaran, follow, imitating. But similarly, another example we can take. Suppose you join to the Krishna conscious movement. You see many devotees chanting 16 rounds. And okay, by seeing there everyone doing the 16 rounds, you will also get motivated. Okay, let me start doing the 60 rounds from day one. What will happen? First day you will be able to do. Second day, maximum you will continue for 1 week. For in most of the cases, Not for everyone, but some people are there. The day one they picked up 16 rounds. But in most of the cases, what will happen? After first week, you start losing the taste. So you start losing the focus, right? So so if we simply follow imitate them, this is our nature. We are conditioned, we cannot take that. What is the required? We need to see the qualities of these devotees. What are the qualities that making them to perform this kind of selfless service? So that is important. We need to understand the qualities. One of the important qualities of all these great personalities, the faith. Faith on Supreme Lord. Faith on scriptures. Faith on the spiritual master. This is most important part. Having the complete surrenderness, faith on these things will make you to make the devotee. Then you will have the opportunity to do this selfless service. Rather, instead of directly jumping on doing this kind of selfless, try to imitate them, it will not help you to become a devotee. Rather, you will be having the bodily problems and you will stop doing the comforts. But when you do this, when you observe the qualities of these devotees and when you start applying in you, then you will be able to do this kind of service. So important thing is faith. We have to develop the faith like Prahalad Maharaj. So whatever problems, difficulties came, we should tolerate and continue, have the strong faith on our whatever we believe, whatever scriptures, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, your spiritual master and Krishna, we should never lose the faith. This is like Grantidev, Srila Prabhupada, the best example. So these are all how they have the strong faith. His Guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, mentioned that he wanted Srila Prabhupada to preach this message, Bhagavatam, to the Western world. So that is the word he took. And whole life he was trying to weigh all possible options. He is looking to fulfill his Guru Maharaj desire. Whatever difficulties he encountered, he didn't ignore this. He was a strong faith on his spiritual master. He wanted to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master and he continued doing. He tried to fulfill that service, the desire fulfilled. So this is the faith. So in order to understand the faith, I have one story. There used to be a king and the king was having a minister. The minister he was a devotee. So for everything, the minister used to tell, it is the Bhagavan ki Vishesh Krupa, means Lord is so merciful. For whatever happens in his life, he used to tell, it's a Bhagavan ki Vishesh Krupa in Hindi, means it's a Lord is so merciful. Then one day, something happened, some accident happened, his finger was cut. So, and all the people came and they did whatever this staff came and they did all the first aid and everything. And the minister came. Then he saw this and said, again he said, oh, Lord is so merciful, he said. Then the king was very much upset. My finger was cut. Now this minister is saying, Lord is so merciful. What is this? Then he ordered his soldiers he got very upset and angry. So he ordered his soldiers to keep this minister in the prison. So the minister was present. Then also minister told, Lord is so merciful. So he never learned. So this is one of the things whatever Krishna does, we know from Bhagavad Gita, right? It is for our benefit. So he's truly applying this in his life. Every moment he's saying that whatever things happening in his life, he's thinking that it is God, Lord is so merciful. And then the minister was in the prison. One day king went to forest for the hunting. And with a few soldiers. In the forest, there were some dacoits and some tribal soldiers, and they captured this king. The reason for capturing this king is they were doing some Durga Kali Mata just puja, and they have to offer one man who's healthy, perfect man, and they wanted to offer. So the king is a very healthy and perfect man. They got a right person. So they captured this person, king, the dacoits, they captured this king and took him to their den. And the other side, there is a neighboring king in this king's kingdom. Then adjacent one more kingdom is there. The king was eagerly waiting to capture this kingdom. And he got to know that the king is away from this kingdom. He is in the forest. and then he started trying to attack on this kingdom to capture. Now, these dacoits already captured the king, and they were making everything. They to give him bath, and they wanted to offer this Narabali, they call, right? They wanted to offer this body king to the Kali, Ma Kali, and then they made everything perfect, and they were about to cut his head. And then the priest of the dacoits, they came and checking if everything perfect. They have to give the proper person, like without any defects. Then they found that his finger was cut. So then they said, oh, okay, this person is not useful. We cannot use this person for offering the bali. Then the king survived somehow. Meanwhile, the minister who was in the prison, he got to know that the king is coming for attacking this kingdom. Then somehow, with the help of other soldiers, he escaped from the prison, and he got his all the army consolidated, and he joined the king. And finally, they both together, they defeated enemy king, and they returned to the kingdom. The moral of the story then is that the king was asking, why you are the Lord is so merciful. The minister was telling, he used to tell every time, that Lord is so merciful. The king was asking, why you are saying all the time Lord was so merciful, why is Lord was so merciful? And then the minister was explaining, see, your finger was cut. Because of that, you were survived from the dacoits. Right? Otherwise, they would have given to the Kalima. They supposed to offer him Kalima. Then, so he was telling minister, suppose since when minister is going for hunting, obviously he will be accompanied by minister. The next, if the minister was not in the prison, he would have gone with the king. If the king is not perfect, then the next option will be, they would have seen minister. Right? So, he was telling that, they would have taken me. So, because of that, they said, when his finger was cut, he said, Lord was so merciful. Because now, the Lord was showcasing that when he was about to cut his head, the dacoits, he was survived because of the cut finger. Similarly, the minister was in the prison, he was survived, he was not in the forest. So, the moral of the story is, the faith should be always steady, fixed. It should not change based on the circumstances or situations. This kind of faith we should develop with everyone. This is the important point from the story we can learn. The moral is, faith should be always steady and fixed. It should not change based on our circumstances and situation. We always should continue with the faith. And how to develop this faith? The one important easy rule is, associate with the people who have already faith on these scriptures and Supreme Lord. And the next thing is serving the spiritual master. Because Krishna helps us to find the spiritual master, and the spiritual master helps us to take us to the Krishna. That is the reciprocal, the connection. Right? So the spiritual master, we have to serve our spiritual master. Then we will, with the faithfully, all the qualities we discussed, right? Faithful, respect, devotion, and love. With all these qualities, we have to serve our spiritual master. Then you will be able to develop the faith. And there is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 6, Prahalad was giving the instructions to his demonic friends. So in the few verses, there were some verses which were explaining how to serve the spiritual master. So before that, the Prahalad instruction started like, he wanted to understand what is the reason for material existence. What is our reason for, the basic reason for our material existence? Any idea? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, both are correct. The first reason is that we wanted to enjoy the material world away from Krishna, separately from Krishna. So, Prabhupada was explaining this further. This meaning means we will have a propensity to enjoy this material world, how? Better than, greater than other persons. That is our nature. That is our material. This is the seed. This is the material bija that fructifies, and we'll keep on taking birth and death to fulfill this desire. So the Prahalad Maharaj is mentioning that first thing, important thing is we need to remove this bija. this material. And next, so in order to do this, remove this, eliminate this seed of the material desire, what is the next thing? He's saying devotional service is the important thing. And how the devotional service starts? The first part of the devotional service is serving your spiritual master. These are the, so the reason is, first we have to develop the faith. We have to develop the faith. We have to surrender to the spiritual master and do the service. And how we do the service, why we have to do the service? We are having this, the material bija, the ignorance is there. That is causing us to stay in this material world and continue the living, taking repeated birth and death. So in order to remove that material bija, the seed, the desire, we have to serve the spiritual master. So that is a devotional service. That is the first step of the devotional service, serving the spiritual master. How we should serve? That is what the next Prahlad Maharaj is saying. There are 4 important things. See, this is our life air. Prana is the important thing. If you don't have a prana, we will not have any consciousness. The first thing is prana. The next thing is artha, means wealth. And the third thing is our intelligence. And fourth thing is words. So we have to use all these things, it's full of the extent, everything in the service of our spiritual master. So we have to use the prana, artha, our intelligence and words. Everything we have to use in the service of spiritual master to service. All these things we have to use. This is how we have to do the service. When we do the service, all this ignorance will be, our spiritual master will enlighten us, will give the knowledge, and we have also the Bhagavad Gita verse, right? Tadvidi pranipatena praniprasnena sevaya upadekshayanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshana. Same thing. We have to serve spiritual master. Submissively we have to inquire. Then spiritual master will give us the knowledge. He with the knowledge will remove this material desire, the bija of the material desire, the ignorance quality we can remove, and we will be able to proceed, and we will develop the same qualities, whatever the qualities required, we can develop, and then faith can be developed. So this is the one aspect the Prahlad Maharaj was mentioning in Srimad Bhagavatam. And we are also in this purport, we are seeing that the body is very dear to us. That is another aspect Prabhupada was mentioning in the purport, first line itself. Body is very dear to us. How we can understand this in two angles. One is in material and another one is spiritual context. If you see in the material platform, conditioned material people, everybody think that self means the body. So that's why they gave importance to body. They wanted, for everything, they wanted to ensure that body is not suffering. Body is not fully, so we need to give all the comforts to body, so that is their aim. That is the main materialistic people's motive. That is so they don't think that they don't know that the knowledge that we are not the body, we are the soul. They think that self is nothing but the body, and they wanted to focus on bodily development. But other side, when we see the spiritual angle, there also we give importance to body. How? There was in Brahma Vimohan Leela pastimes, this question was asked by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami. He was asking about the body, what is the importance, why we have to give importance to body. The Parikshit Maharaj question was in different context, not in the way we are looking. The context was, during the Brahma Vimohan Leela, the Brahma took all the calves and cowherd boys, gopas, right? And then everybody like Krishna was expanded into all the calves and gopas. In the Vrindavan, before this Leela happened, so all the parents, mothers, they used to love Krishna more than their child. And even cows also, they used to love Krishna more than calves. But once this Leela started, where Krishna expanded into all the cowherd boys and the calves, so all the parents, they started loving their children more than the previously. So then, Sukadeva Goswami was asking to Parikshit Maharaj, how did this happen? What is the reason? Then Sukadeva Goswami was explaining. So the reason is, see, we know that as per the spiritual, we know we are not the body, we are the soul. And the soul is living in this body. We know that, right? If the soul is not there, body is dead. It's like no consciousness, nothing. So when this body is to keep the body active, soul has to be there, and that is the reason, one of the reasons why we give importance to body. That is one. And then in further subsequent, he started explaining further. The soul's Atma is super soul. That is, the super soul is there. Because of the super soul, the soul is also active. Now, the super soul is Krishna. And this body is required to serve Krishna. You got the connection? So in the body, soul is there. And the soul's Atma is super soul Krishna. And our body is required to serve Krishna. That is the reason we give importance to our body in the spiritual context. But in the material context, the knowledge is not there. But in the spiritual context, this is the reason why we give importance to body. That is the reason. In Prabhupada also, in many of the quotations in the lectures, he was mentioning, we need to keep our body fit to make the soul and body together, right? We need to make all the bodily, what we should not over endeavor, but we should endeavor such that our soul and body staying together. That is what Prabhupada mentioned in many lectures. So we need to maintain the body. We need to take care of the body because of to serve Krishna. But when we see this verse, Devahuti, she ignored all those bodily things, and without bothering about their bodily comforts, she was serving Kardama Muni. So this is and there are few more pastimes, like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have, there is a devotee called Ishan. And he was talking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much happy with this devotee. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned that, okay, you serving me very nicely. You don't have any house, but you have a small house, but the roof is there, but he's having so many holes, I think. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give nice shelter. Then Sukadeva, this devotee was telling, Lord, I don't need any other facilities. There are many people in this world, they don't have any shelter. So I have at least have the shelter, though it is having holes, but at least I have shelter. So I don't need anything. I only wanted to serve you. I'm not expecting any benefit, any rewards from you. My only aim is to serve you. This is the mood of a devotee. This is how we need to serve any devotees, the senior devotees, Vaishnavas or spiritual master. This is the mood we have to inculcate. With this mood we have to serve. The next one is, another pastime is the Rupa Goswamis and Sanatana Goswamis pastime. And one day, Rupa Goswami was thinking that, okay, he needs to feed nice prasadam to his brother, Sanatana Goswami. And he was thinking to make, in the mind he started thinking, okay, what should I make? He wanted to make some nice kheer or sweet. And he was thinking about all the ingredients. And while he was starting thinking about the ingredients, then he realized that we are in the forest. And we don't get all those things. Items required to cook. Then he was thinking, suddenly one girl came. And that girl told, Baba, in our house we had a festival and I have got all these ingredients. So you can use this and make whatever you wanted, prasadam. Then Rupa Goswami took all the ingredients. He made a nice sweet rice. And then the Sanatana Goswami he offered to Sanatana Goswami. Then Sanatana Goswami then saw that and he started honoring the prasadam. And then he was asking, this is the forest, how you got these many items? How you are able to get these items? Then Rupa Goswami was mentioning, there was one girl came, she gave me all those items. Then Sanatana Goswami was asking how she was looking like, what are the qualities? Then the Rupa Goswami started describing. Then Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, she is no other than Srimati Radharani. Then the Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami started chastising Sanatana Goswami. We should never take any service from Srimati Radharani or Supreme Lord. Our motto is always serve them, not taking anything back from them. Then he started chastising. So this is the message we need to develop when we are serving our spiritual master. We should not expect something in return. So by the mercy of them, we will get whatever is required, whatever is destined. But we should not look for those things. These two pastimes mentioned that tells us that the mood we should carry when doing the service to our spiritual master or the senior devotees. We should never expect anything in return. Our mode is to serve them. And even we know that in Nectar of Devotion and in other scriptures we see that there are 9 stages of devotion. Starts with Shraddha and finally will reach the prema stage, right? Those are the final stage of the devotion, the prema. And the gopis and Radharani was the best examples for this prema bhakti. We know we can have one more pastime we can go through that will also give us understanding what is that selfless service and the prema bhakti, how why it is the topmost. We all know the pastime where one day Lord Supreme Krishna was having headache, and Narada Muni visited, and Krishna was asking Narada Muni, the load dust from the devotee's feet can only remove his headache. Then he went to ask many devotees, and none of them were agreeing, because if he give the dust from their feet, it will be sinful for them. They will not be able to. That is a sinful, and they don't want to take that sinful reaction by offending Krishna. So finally, Narada Muni went to gopis. What they said? They wanted to happily offer the dust from their lotus feet. The reason the Narada Muni asked, we will get a sinful reaction. Then what they said? We don't bother whatever happens to us for the sake of Krishna. We are happy to take whatever hellish. If we have to go to any hellish planets for this sinful reaction, we are happy to do. But we want, at least for the moment of time, if the Krishna is free from headache, that is better. That is enough for them. So they were happy to give the dust from their feet. So what is it? They are in the topmost of the form of the bhakti, prema bhakti. But the beginning, we have to start from Shraddha, the faith. Faith will take you to the prema level. Then you will be able to do the selfless service. So when as your faith increases, you will start doing this selfless service. When you reach the prema level, it will be the topmost level where you will do the selfless service. That's why the gopis and Srimati Radharani is the topmost devotee of the Lord. They always think for Krishna. They always look for Krishna's pleasure. So these are the various examples we can take, and we can develop these qualities in us. Rather than simply imitating these devotees, the great personalities, we should try to develop these qualities and develop the faith, and finally it leads to prema, and we can do the selfless service like Devahuti and all other great personalities mentioned in our scriptures. So I will conclude here. Any comments? Yes, Prabhu. Mm-hmm.
So immediately within the mind, we think that actually everything she had done simply for that reason. So far in the class you've mentioned that is it only through understanding the qualities like this we'll be able to understand the devotees are like that, or because it just seems like she's gone through all of this and she's getting benediction.
See, when she was doing the service, she did not ask. Okay. One thing is the old pastime. If you go one step back, the reason for this thing is the Brahma asked Kardama Muni to create the progeny, right? That is the first thing. That is the reason the Kardama Muni started. He did not directly involved in this activity. Rather, he started with a tapasya of 10,000 years. Then after getting the marriage also, they did not directly involve in creating the progeny. So he did all these austerities, right? So that is and after finally, they wanted to have they wanted going for the kids. So, but that is the way their mood. But if they are having that intention, they don't need to do all these things, right? So that is not their mood. Their devotion is the primary aspect, but as part of that, they do all this material. It look material, but they are with a devotional concept mindset only. They are doing this. That is how we have to understand. They never deviated from the path of devotion. They are in the path of devotion, but they are doing all other activities like how other people doing. But their intention is not to have any material enjoyment, but it's with a devotional mood they are doing, because that is the responsibility of Kardama Muni to create the progeny. Indirectly, the Devahuti is fulfilling the desire, whatever the order Brahma was ordered to Kardama Muni, that she is able to fulfill the desire. That way we can understand, Prabhu. Hope it is. Any other comments? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, जय।